glasses out there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Pigeon Whole Motorcycle Podcast. On the show today, I'm extremely happy because I've been looking at this man's pictures on my calendar. This is Mr. May of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, Dumptruck.
Oh yeah.
We can talk like that the whole time tonight. Let's do. Oh yeah.
You know, baby, we can do that. I'll be here all night long till halfway through it.
All right, brother. Well, hey, I'm excited. So your name got brought up with Patrick just a couple episodes at Royalty Racing.
That's right. I'm about 273 feet away from Royalty Racing. It's literally we're on the same block. I can see the roof of the Royalty complex from my backyard.
Compound or complex?
Well, yes. It's a very complex compound. It all depends on how you look at it. Did he tell you the history of that place?
No, I've never heard anything about it.
Oh. It was at one point an underground emergency room. So if you didn't have insurance or you were running from the law and you needed a gunshot wound to get fixed, that was where you took it. Like down the hallway that separates shop from home, there are all these little office buildings which were patient rooms. And whenever it was time for that place to shut down, it wasn't like, hey, you get to move all your equipment. I was like, you're shut down, it's over. So when Patrick moved in, there's all of these x-rays from gangsters and stuff. You'll see big chains and an x-ray and then a bullet wound.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. T-shirts coming soon.
That would be a good t-shirt.
I mean, the history of that place is really interesting, and it's definitely a complex compound.
Wow. See, now we have a new. So now, what are you just friends with Patrick? You work over there with him? What do you do?
Both. He and I have been friends for a while. We met at Sturgis Rally. I don't know, probably 5 years ago, maybe. I can't remember. I think it was the 75th, and he was set up over at the Buffalo Chip, and I was hosting the Sportster Showdown. Which is a Sportster show by Built Well and Let's Lead Customs, and I was announcing it. Which and some gigs that I announce an MC because that's what I've typically done for a living for the last 12 years. Some of them are very straightforward and liability messaging, and some of them are like, "Hey, your hair looks dumb. Don't forget to go fuck yourself." It really just depends on what they want. This is go fuck yourself kind of an event, so it's a lot of fun, and some people get offended. I never care. The people that don't get offended are my people, so it's a really good time. And they basically saw me harass some people pretty hard, and that's when we became friends. So, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's also kind of an asshole himself, so it works out.
He's a good dude.
He's great. And I was actually raised from not far from here. I was born an hour and a half east. And I was raised in a place called Lewis, which is an hour and a half southwest in Swamp. So me getting to New Orleans kind of puts me around family for the first time in 15 years or so.
That's cool.
And that was a big point of it. He knew I was moving, of course. And on my way here, he was like, "So you are really moving here, aren't you?" Because people say that all the time. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the way in the van. Everything I kind of own is back there." He's like, "Well, you can't show up without a job, I guess, and I need some help." And so I was like, boom. Let's talk about working together. And so I do the customer service, and I take care of most of the logistics and partnership programs for our racing team, which involves our land speed bike, which won Best in Show or the One Show Award in Portland recently.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also sponsor Carlos Sanchez out of the Super Hooligan Race Series. And I'm sure we'll cook up some other ways to go fast and have a good time.
Nice. So that's a good job.
That was one breath right there. That was one.
I know. Now breathe. Okay, so
lights after that guy. Oh man.
And he's drinking a nice. If you're listening, he's got the orange Gatorade going. He's staying hydrated. He's been working in the yard all day weeding.
That's right. And I'm figured I don't get really a lot of opportunities to dress fancy, so I put on my newest Dixon wear. I was like, I'm gonna go cover myself in yard chippings. Who cares?
That's good. Well, after a hard day of manscaping, things get real.
Well, there's a lot
fast.
to manscape here, I tell you. It takes a village sometimes,
Right, and that could be a video in itself.
Right,
I think that
could,
would be a good
but
one.
not on this channel.
Nope. No, we got to keep all of our non-sponsors really happy over here.
Yeah, that makes it really easy to appease the folks. You know?
This is
you don't mind if I burn, do you?
No, you're good.
I really like you.
You're all right. Yeah, no,
Hey, you're the greatest. I'm starving.
So tell me this. So you grew up. I listened to. I was reading some. I did some research on you. So after I got through all. Yeah, I mean, after I got past all the police blotter stuff, and then so you're born in Mississippi, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm brought up until I was like 8 in South Louisiana.
Okay, cool. I heard a lot of I heard some gator stories too. So
yeah, those definitely exist. I recently went and took a trip down to Assumption Parish, which is where I was brought up. I took a little road trip down there on the bike and got to revisit some childhood stuff. It was pretty interesting feeling, and we definitely had some alligator stories going on. The one I usually tell is like in the springtime, whenever the alligators are like nesting their eggs and everything. If my sister and I wanted to go out and play in the sandbox in the backyard, my mom would go out there first and get her rake and like rake through the sandbox to make sure there's no alligator eggs in there. Because if there are, then her children are dinner for a big alligator that's hanging out. So,
right.
And that was just kind of like, I mean, it wasn't year round and all that kind of stuff, but you knew whenever the gators were hanging out, like the whole neighborhood knows, some of our inclement weather days were because there was an alligator on the playground and you can't remove it from government property, so you just got to wait till it leaves on its own. So it's like, well, it may not be snowing, but it's an inclement weather day anyhow.
So it probably wasn't even that. It's just kind of just a normal thing, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're just there. I mean, whenever there's certain regions of this planet that if you live in it, you understand that you live around things that want to eat you. And down here in South Louisiana, it's pretty much everything. Pretty much everything. If it's a bug, it's got teeth, it wants to bite you. There was a hunter spider in my house the other night. I don't know if you know what those are. Those things are huge. No. I've got meat hooks. It was the size of my hand. I walk in the house and I open the door and go in my kitchen. And up in the corner is this massive spider staring at me, like staring me down. I didn't know if he was flirting or if he was hungry. But he was way too big to be in my damn house. So I went and I got a broom and I played hockey with the guy going back and forth. And I was like, God, I didn't want to touch. I mean, he was huge, big, gray, covered in hair, and fast. But I was able to get him out of the house. It was, it's action packed out here.
That's great. So, okay, this is. I just see spiders and I'm just absorbing everything.
Oh yeah,
alligator
take
spiders.
You away to the neighbor's yard on accident, and you got. Well, there's a neighborhood possum like that'll every once in a while. I think it's called Seymour. I think is what the neighborhood's called him. Huge, little fat guy. But once every blue moon, you'll actually see this one possum come across the back fence, and it's the same guy every time.
That's good.
And I live in the city. Like I live in Upper Mount Florida. So like,
and you're not out in the woods anywhere.
You don't have to be here. We're in their swamp.
So you grew up not far from where you're at now, like a couple hours, you said?
Yeah, it was about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And then when I was 8, we moved back to Mississippi for like a year, and then Houston, Texas area, Memphis, Tennessee, and that's where I graduated high school from.
Gotcha. Okay, so growing up, you graduated high school. What do you do after high school? College?
I went to college for almost a year. I found out pretty quickly it was not for me, and I ended up actually going to the Navy. And, and served in the Navy. Got out in 2002, about 9 months after 9/11, and then I went back to Memphis, and I was a radio DJ in Memphis, Tennessee, and a bouncer on Beale Street, and it was an interesting time of life.
Dude, that sounds kick-ass. That sounds like you kind of have a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's I figured I grew up real sheltered, right? So like whenever I got on my own finally, since then I've had this thirst. And I still do. There are things that I haven't done yet that I'm starting to get pretty hungry for. And it definitely doesn't leave for a whole bunch of dull moments. But like, you find an opportunity, somebody says, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And if you don't know what it is, say yes and figure it out.
I like your style.
It's good. It's led to a colorful story. Most of which is
I bought a T-shirt last night. I think I'm going to send you one as well. It says, "That's a horrible idea. What time?"
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Threaten me with a good time, see what happens. I'll show up early and everything. I won't be punctual to anything but a bad idea.
That's right. So okay, so you're DJing radio, and then you're which it's funny because a guy like you, I see, because I've done a lot of radio stuff. And isn't it funny how, like, radio, isn't it so nice to get out of, like, a studio where you're behind stuff and actually get in front of fucking live people? Cause
yeah, it is. Like, being in Memphis, I was really lucky to be able to do a little bit of both because it being a music city like it is, excuse me, there's always bands coming through and everything, concert festivals coming through, and if our station sponsored it, then you get to go to the show and you get up on stage, you get to connect with massive groups of people. And that experience, I actually took like that experience, and when I moved to Denver, Colorado afterwards in 2005, I ended up being a women's roller derby announcer, and taking that and then applying it to a cerebral sport with a whole lot of shenanigans involved. Like, it was a crazy time.
Okay.
There's a lot of times that I'm going to say are crazy because the last 40 years have been nuts.
Exactly. So, okay, so being in this field, in some of this kind of field, like you, explain how you, like, do you find the ad for roller derby announcer in the paper? How do you get that fucking job?
There was a friend of mine, Friction Vixen. She had we're in Denver, Colorado. I go to a bunch of Bronco games, and we keep connecting, which is random. There's tens of thousands of people there. So we became friends, and then, and I didn't know that she was a roller derby player or anything like that. It was like brand new. Or leagues were just now organizing for the first time. And but from us hanging out, she knew that I did radio when I was at Memphis, kind of full of shit all the time. And they had a need. So like we hadn't talked to each other in a few months, and suddenly it was like, hey, we need roller derby announcers. I think you'd be a great fit. You should come try it out. And I was like, all right. And I went to scrimmage practice, and they handed me a dialogue from a Charmin commercial, and I read a toilet paper commercial, and everybody laughed, and they were like, oh my God, you're so in. I was like, okay, that sounds great. And then, like, I mean, I was really blessed for a lot of reasons. Every single league that I was a part of was very good at roller derby. Okay. That's not always the case. So I was really lucky to have high level play, and then I was also very lucky to be one of the OG guys with the voices of reason. So there we go. Yeah, the microphone right there.
Nice.
Here, let's do this. There it is. Microphone is a voice of reason and a roller skate wheel. So the original announcer group of the voices of reason. There's a bunch of us like have that tattoo or whatever, but it was like nobody knew how to do the sport. Like, nobody knew.
Right.
We ended up, as a group, we collectively came up with a technical manual that kind of trained you for sharing the call with, what's play-by-play, what's color, how do you balance that out? What do you do with the third person on the track side? Like, there's really explanations on it, and we all just did research and watched a lot of other sports. And like, oddly enough, golf is one of the ones that we took the most pointers from, because I mean, you watch grass grow and keep it on television for hours on end. Homie, you got some talent.
This is very true. So were you the color guy?
I was a little bit of both. I did a lot of play-by-play is what I really, really loved doing.
Really?
Yeah, in the time that I was,
it's exciting too.
It is, yeah, and I can paint a picture pretty well with words, and I there's always a little bit of flair that slides in there, just because, again, I'm full of shit, so like oozes out on its own every once in a while. So it really just depended on my partner. Some people in roller derby can do play-by-play, some people can do color, some people can do both, and which made it a lot of fun to be able to do both, because you just never really get bored. In the early days, I would actually chase the pack on roller skates with a PBR tall boy in one hand and the microphone in the other, doing play-by-play. There they go down the front stretch, making their way around turn one. Oh my God, did you see that big old hip check? Whoa, she went flying. Banger, banger, 1-9, making it happen. Just like,
Right. Oh, that sounds a really boring job, man.
Yeah, I traveled the country in Canada and Australia with some of the most amazing and smart and driven and dedicated type A female personalities that this planet has to offer. And because of my involvement there, I got to travel even more and got to learn a lot about myself and make some lifelong friends.
Wow, that's cool.
It was a beautiful time in my life.
Now, do you have kids?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, when you do meet them, I really think that how cool would it be to have a son to be able to tell the roller derby stories?
Oh man,
too.
it'd be fun. It's not something that
You'd have to wait a while.
that
of
I
course.
plan on having, but if that were something that ended up being a part of my life, I would welcome it over.
That's great.
We need to have some little pickup trucks running around,
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're doing the roller derby thing lasted for quite a while then.
12 years, yeah, it was a long time.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I was really involved in 2005, but I didn't actually announce any bouts until it was 2006, and everything started in 2005.
Okay.
For the most part in Austin, Texas.
Well,
Then went along for a long time after that.
Wow. Do you have some video of that stuff? Like some of you
Oh
announcing?
yeah, it's definitely around. I mean, if you Google Dumptruck roller derby, there will be some things that pop up.
All right. I want everybody listening right now to do
videos.
that.
Say
Right.
what?
I said I want everybody listening right now to to do a little Google.
Yeah, I'm about to
roller
update my
derby.
YouTube page to put all the different playlists of archive stuff on there. It's just fun. I mean, there's a lot of like actual like coverage and footage that the Women's Flat Track Derby Association owns from all these tournaments and everything, and you get to hear some really dynamo partnerships on the microphone. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it was crazy. It was intense, and I mean, it was just an exciting thing to do as like your hobby, and didn't feel like a hobby. It really took over your life.
Right.
That's
So
actually where I started like touring on motorcycles, was roller derby.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So how do you come from roller derby and get into bikes?
Well, I just ended up with a Sportster. My old man bought my mom a Sporty. It's an 89 Sportster, 4-speed. Still have it. And my dad had just kind of picked up riding again. He never really rode. I don't come from motorcycle heritage. He had a Triumph in the 70s for about 20 minutes or something like that. And and then so he got a bike, and he was like, well, let's get your mom a bike. She sat on it, and it made him really nervous. And he goes, nope. And then that Sportster sat there. And I'm like, Dad, hey, Dad. And I wanted to work out a way to pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, like, he was like, come on over to the house. Your mama's fixing dinner, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And I go over there, and he's like, we got to run an errand real quick. Jump in the truck. So, okay, we go, like, to the DMV. And then he signs over the title to me, and he goes, it really is about time you had a Harley Davidson. And I know you want to buy it, but I kind of don't want to let you. And it was like a really, really cool thing. He and I, like a lot of dynamics, we butt heads basically from the time I was born. A little bit less now than we did then, but it was like, so it was like really, like really big gesture. And like those gifts don't come freely either. So it was a pretty rad moment. And then I just kind of started riding. I never really rode with people. I just did my own thing. And then the roller derby thing happened, and I started to figure out how to like coach leagues and like find side gigs and like basically riding my motorcycle from one gig to the next, and then make roller derby belts a part of it as well, and then like MC like other marketing events, and just bebop down the road. And I did that for the better part of 8 years. Just I didn't really have an address. I had a couple of storage units. I still have 2 storage units. I'm trying to get all my stuff in New Orleans, but it's in California and Oregon.
And that, my friends, is what we call hustling.
Man, telling you, baby, they're rambling. People like to talk about how they ramble. I'm like, oh, do you?
Yeah.
How big is your suitcase? 'Cause that's
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so obviously with your personality and going around and getting to the like, what's the biggest like when you let's back up before I go there. I have to know this. Sorry. At what age and what time did people start referring to you as Dumptruck? Because that's not your birth name, I'm guessing.
No, it was 4th of July 2001.
Oh. give or take. Okay,
yeah, give or take 20 or something.
Right. So how does it happen?
Well, I was still in the Navy, and we'd been at sea for quite a long time, and I was on the last all-male ship of the entire naval fleet, USS Fitzgerald DDG-62, Arleigh Burke class destroyer. And so we come back into port, and it's the holiday, and like we're all stoked. We bring a keg out to the beach and bury it in the sand because you can still do that then in San Diego and OB. And fast forward a few hours, everybody's getting good in tanks. A few of the dudes start wrestling around. They basically topple on top of me while I'm taking a drink of beer. And I'm wearing my beer. I've got a mouthful of sand, a cup full of mud. I'm fucking pissed off. Not like really pissed, but pissed off enough to fight my friends. And so they don't notice or really care, and they just stumble off and keep wrestling. And I just dust myself off, wash my mouth out, and run as fast as I can about 20 feet from to where they are, leading with my face in my chest. And I smashed through 4 people, and everybody hit the ground. The girl said it looked like a truck dumped everybody in one place.
And there it is. Wow.
And a truck was born. And it just made sense later, you know, like became a bouncer and a radio host. And so like it was there, and then roller derby, and I was still bouncing like punk rock rockabilly bars at that point while I was doing the roller derbies. And then it just, I just continued to use it, becoming an actual event MC for a living for Jack Daniels and Harley Davidson and Built Well and Sierra Steakout and Sturgis and Buffalo Chip, like all these like different places. I did just, for some reason, somebody looks at me and I tell them my name is Dumptruck, and they go, I see that.
You're hired.
I'm like, damn. Fuck you or thank you. I don't know what that is.
Maybe a little of both.
You really accepted that too easy. What are you trying to say?
All right. Yeah, fuck you very much. Yes, thank you. Wow. Okay, so then you get to do, well, how cool you get to MC all these events.
Yeah, it's something that I didn't really seek out. There was a concert festival that came through Denver, and they lost their MC. And one of their road crew was a part of the roller derby production crew here in Denver. And it was like, dude, you got to get this dude Dumptruck. And then we had one of these type conversations, video chat. And they were like, all right, cool. So we'll hire you for X number of dollars. And I was like, wait, you're going to pay me what? To have a really good time and like rile up the crowd and meet people and like run around with a smile on my face and a cocktail in my hand? No, please tell me more. How can I get more of these things?
Right.
And I mean, there was 30,000 people. Gnarls Barkley was headlining, and like Common had played that day, and like it was a pretty unique day. It was a really unique day, and that was like my first gig, and everything went really well. And they were like, you know what? We've got 12 more dates if you want them. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then later that year, I also ended up getting picked up by Harley Davidson. So it was like Jack Daniels and Harley Davidson.
Not too shabby.
All because I'm nice to people.
So, oh my God. So this is taking you like, when you just start doing motorcycle shit, I was reading something that they had like a list of all these events you've been to and like everywhere you're going and riding and hanging out, and I'm like, unbelievable.
If you're a motorcycle show and I wasn't at it, motorcycle on the same day. I mean, there was one period where I was working the NHRA series for Harley, and I went 31,334 miles in 5 months and 2 days. And I went through all 48 contiguous states that period.
Holy shit.
Going to work.
Yeah.
Like, like at that time, I left Denver and I moved to LA, and I wanted to do more voiceovers. I really enjoy voiceovers. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get local work for the life of me, not in what I knew. What I knew was security stuff mostly. And I went to all the courses and the classes and did all this stuff, and like certification never came. I called the facility, they said they sent it, and we just went through that loop. And it never came. And then my bank account gets down next to nothing. I was like, ugh. At this point, I'd already worked for Harley a bit. And then an opportunity with the NHRA popped up, and I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And those were the years I didn't have an address or anything like that. I just went and chased a paycheck and boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And then in the fall, I ended up doing international motorcycle shows for Harley as well. So I went from rambling on the road to jet setting, and like it was back to back. NHRA's done in November. IMS started in November. IMS finished in February. NHRA starts in February. Like it was 12 months of going.
Okay, so when you like IMS, like when you say you're working with them and MC and stuff, and like what exactly are you doing?
Well, as you know, IMS is basically a big trade show,
Right.
and it's all the new models from all of the OEMs, from the brand new BMWs to the brand new Harley Davidsons, the Suzukis, and everything in between. And there's also a custom motorcycle show, whatever. If you haven't been to IMS, you should go. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been there once.
But yeah, I was on the phone on the microphone for Harley, and so you would like walk onto the Harley footprint. It's got like the big towers and bars and shields and all the brand new. Like this year would be the new 2021 bikes that are going to be coming out, is what they would have on display. And I would basically run the room as traffic would kind of turn over, much like a DJ does a crowd at a bar. They try to keep the room turning. As we turn over, I kind of start over with my spiel. Like, hi, welcome to Harley Davidson here at the International Motorcycle Shows. My name is Dumptruck. Let me tell you some things that are going on. We've got a lot of things that are available here. Number one, we've got all the brand new motorcycles here for you to check out. Feel free to throw a leg over any of them. If you have any questions, we do have Harley Davidson Motor Company staff standing by for that very reason. And if you've never ridden a motorcycle before, we do have the Jump Start. All you have to do is be 18 years of age with closed-toed shoes, and we'll teach you exactly what it takes to run through the gears on a brand new Softail Slim. All you got to do is come with a willingness to learn, be 18, have them shoes on right, and you'll be riding a motorcycle going nowhere fast. And then we'll talk to you about those new Rider's Edge courses that you can take at your local Harley Davidson dealer and get out on the road on your own.
Okay. So when I watch you do that, it's so funny because all the past stuff that I've done isn't it fun. I don't know if you ever get this. Do you ever grab a microphone and you open your mouth, you have no idea and no thoughts about what you're saying, and it just spills out?
Oh yeah, I did that.
And people look at you like,
it used to make my PD really nervous.
Yeah, I
don't know what you're gonna say. I was like, nope.
I know where I want to. I know where I start and I know where I end.
There was so many roller derby bouts where somebody'd be watching like the online stream, and like I would go check my Facebook afterwards, and they would be like, "Dude, when you said blah 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 blah," I was like, "Oh, I said that. That's good. I should write that down. I should do that on purpose next time." That was nice. That was a good time, man. Trying to get a word out there.
That's great. So now you're still doing a bunch of events. You're going like what? Oh, we're kind of slowed down. I said we wouldn't talk about any COVID stuff, but I'm sure this kind of.
But a lot of things got rescheduled, so we'll go from something a year that was going to be like more evenly and like at least one event a month with the Super Hooligan Series and our racing program at the shop. And now it's going to end up being like 3/4 of the events happening in 1/4 of the time. So it's going to be a lot of crisscross.
Right. What's the first event, the big event you got coming up that's going to be?
Actually, no. The first event that I'm going to have coming up is July 23rd, the Cave City Rumble. That's Letitia Klein's event in Cave City, Kentucky. And it is got the world's, I believe, deepest cave in the United States or something like that. Something that, I can't remember exactly what like the amazing epicness of the cave was, but it definitely it has like the record for being like the deepest or the largest or something along those lines.
Big fucking cave.
Big fucking hole. And so the past couple of years she's thrown a party there. She like bought a couple of buildings and built a bar in one, and like it's been a dry county forever until recently. So like being able to be, I don't know, normal is a new thing. And she's also got another building, and she's been building a diner in it. And she's really trying to bring her hometown up on her own. She's a smart lady too. I mean, it's like a really cool investment. It hits you in the feels, and it also has opportunity to really grow and really help your local community where your roots are from. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's like a big outdoor party. Like the bar, all the bartenders are actually work at the bar, but it's outside. There's like an international arm wrestling demo that's going to be there. Some live music. I'm sure I'll cook something up and make people do something stupid in front of other people, and I'll give away some free. I'll give away some free stuff for it. Hey, Gatorade, it's talking back.
I was just say, coming right back. Better the second time, Dad. Okay,
yeah, so that'll be the first one.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
And then it's just after that.
Yeah. Can you imagine how crazy some of these things are going to be after people being just cooped up?
We'll see. I think Sturgis is still going to be crazy just because of the demographic that is usually a part of Sturgis, more of like the don't give any fucks crowd. We'll do what we want to, which is fine, I guess. I figure this is what I'll do. Because like right now, I'm pretty comfortable with the way things are at this point. If you're not sick, you're not sick. But there are still some places where I'm definitely, extremely cautious. Like if I have to go to the grocery store, I'll mask up. I'll glove up if I think it's going to be busy. And even when I'm done with that, I'll, get some hand sanitizer and do the thing. But like this past weekend, I went to Swap and Drag in Alabama. And there's so much room and it wasn't overpopulated. If you wanted to hang out and be far enough away from people to hang out, it was completely possible.
Gotcha.
And so it just kind of like, I feel the vibe, and however it strikes me is how I react. I really don't know how to operate other than that. So if I go to Sturgis and I don't like the way it feels, I start to get a little like, all right, this is too many people that are dumb. Then I'll just leave. Like, right. I'll just go. It's pretty simple. People freak out a lot, but I'm not really.
No, and I think there's a difference between freaking out and being cautious. And
the world comes to an end, I won't get nervous for a moment. I hurt somebody's feelings, and I'll freak the fuck out.
Very, very good point.
I mean, like, that's true, though. Like, I mean, the shit hits the fan. I'm like, well, okay, there it goes. There's all these things happening. And then if, like, you and I get an argument of some sort, I won't be able to sleep at night until we figure it out.
I'm the same kind of guy.
That's ain't nothing wrong with that. We all have our thing.
I can't believe somebody outspoken as you would ever hurt anybody's feelings, though. Somebody taking anything the wrong way when you're sarcastic. I
could definitely be an asshole, and there's I can. I try not to be a jerk. Being an asshole is okay, but like my delivery sometimes isn't what I hear. I think I'm saying it one way, and then I'm actually saying it another, and.
Yep. May I say it's not content, it's delivery.
Yeah, exactly. Well, sometimes it's both. I mean, I get kind of defensive about things. It depends on what it is. There's a guy that came over here to the house in New Orleans to do some work on the exterior of my neighbor's unit, and it's like most things here are duplexes, so it's like a double shotgun, double barrel. Mm-hmm. And he walks through my side, and I'm like, I got guns here, man. So front door, back door. We can work it out. I'm out back and I'm sweeping my house out in the morning with coffee and all that kind of good stuff. And here's this dude comes around the corner and I'm just like reaching inside like, and like, I mean, I ripped this guy a new fucking asshole. I was like, I am 3 feet from making you dance real damn fast. What the fuck are you doing in my back goddamn yard? Do I need to rip off your face and use it for toilet paper so you understand what I'm saying? I mean, it was just like, just standing there like, I was like, don't forget where we live, man. This is New Orleans. People jump in someone's backyard to steal the most precious things that I have, which is my van and my Harley Davidsons. So what do you need? Mm-hmm. I'm here to fix things. So the unit next door is like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. Like, sorry, this is my home. Like, yeah. Hey, check this out. That's Patrick.
Hey.
Hey, come around back. That's funny.
That is funny. Yeah, no, that's great.
Sometimes I can be an asshole. I prefer not to. And what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna accept it and just be an asshole forever. I do work on it. I think that's important. True. A lot of times people are like, but that's just the way I am. It's like, no, that's the way you're choosing to be.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's gonna be an overnight change. A lot of my change hasn't been overnight, but people around you. That's important.
Isn't it funny? I have people in my group of friends that, like, he can do fucking anything he wants because now he's an asshole. And it's like, oh, it's just him. He's an asshole. But he can get away with it. We can't do that. Unless you're an asshole all the time.
Everything. I get away with just about everything. I really do. I really do. Like, I don't know why. I could say something and then, say Patrick could say an identical thing. Mm-hmm. And people think I'm funny when I say it, and we'd be like, wow, that guy's such a dick. But we said the same fucking thing, although Patrick is a dick.
Right. Good. Well, we all know that. Yeah, hey, what's up? Oh, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, so shouldn't you guys have been working today? Didn't you guys do anything?
I just got done working.
That dude works every day. Yeah. Every day but Sundays, usually.
And anybody that's not watching, we have Royalty Racing.
Both of them, the entire operation, the whole crew, dog.
The entire crew of Royalty.
Still ain't nothing to fuck with, though. Don't get mistaken.
Hey, okay, since we have Patrick there, let's go here. So, I was talking to my friend Patrick from Royalty Racing earlier, and he said he went to a bar with you dump truck.
What?
And
The one we got kicked out of?
yeah, well, he said he went to go take a piss. He comes out, and you guys are both fucking banned from the bar.
Well, like I said, I can be an asshole sometimes. Like, you didn't believe me, and you had a story in your pocket that proves that I can.
What happened?
May or may not have been inebriated at the time. Extremely inebriated.
I said it was the only mystery that surrounded you involving me is that I went to the bathroom for 2 minutes, and when I came back, you and I were both banned from a bar. And I've never been banned from a bar before, so I still don't really know what happened. I don't think Dumptruck can clearly remember what happened.
Nope.
But something happened. And he was like, what do you want me to ask Dumptruck about? I was like, this is the only mystery I have surrounding Dumptruck. Yeah, pretty well figured out otherwise.
I'm a man of mystery from time to time.
You know what sucks about that is I'm sure that Patrick, if he's going to get banned from a bar, then I know that he'd probably like to earn that. That's kind of like a badge of, like,
yeah,
of honor you want to walk around with.
It could have been a really sensitive bartender or somebody having a bad night. But usually when you get banned from a bar, it seems like there's a pretty good story behind it.
Right. It seems like there's no story behind this.
I probably didn't do anything wrong.
It's a mystery.
I'm kind of perfect. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's everything. So
yeah, I've heard that about you. I read that in a magazine somewhere.
What were you reading?
Yeah, okay. You know what the worst Google search is?
No.
Dump truck. You look like dump truck, whatever you want to put after it. Dump truck MC, dump truck motorcycle. I've seen the most kick-ass dump truck motorcycles today. I didn't even care about you anymore. I'm like, these things are fucking badass, man.
There's a couple OCC builds, I think, that did some dump truck bikes.
Really?
I didn't even know that existed.
Wow. They're stealing your name, man. That's your brand. You better talk to somebody about that.
I'm gonna get all that money I've got and hire some lawyers.
That's right. Well, I think Patrick will he'll defend you.
Oh yeah, we're both rich guys, you know.
Right. Okay, so what's your real name then?
That's a real good question.
Before we get into this, we'll let y'all do your thing.
All right, Patrick, take care.
All right.
Okay, so what's the name? You don't know? Is this is a secret? This is like nobody can know?
It's not necessarily a secret, but it's not that important.
All right, cool. I feel you. I feel where you're going.
Dump truck is what it is. Somebody wants my attention. Typically, they call me dump truck.
Right.
Otherwise, I usually just like straight up don't hear it. Like it was like not a problem necessarily, but it was an adjustment for the family. Like once it, I mean, it's been a long time since 2001. I mean, I've been dump truck for 19 years. And so I mean, like after a while, it kind of like just your name just becomes whatever that is because it was workplace and personal life all the time.
Sure.
So here we are.
I think that, you know, with your family, when you've turned in that with your family is when you start opening Christmas gifts and the name tag says dump truck from Santa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I made it now.
One of my favorite things was I've got a nephew who's actually born on July 4th, which is fun. But my nephew, Oren, my sister was just like, okay, here pretty soon, he's going to like be able to hold conversations. And so whenever he talks or asks, or we talk or ask about, you know, you as the uncle, I just want to let you know that I'm going to let him call you Uncle Truck. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I didn't say anything. She was like, really? That's it? You're not going to be like, no, that's not good enough? I was like, no. No matter what you say, eventually he's going to figure out that Uncle Dump is hilarious.
Right. I was going to say
I'm going to win without trying. So playing the long game here. He's a rad little dude. He's a rad little guy.
I think if I see you, I just want to call you Uncle Dump.
Hey, you know, just don't call me late for dinner. We'll be cool.
Right. You know what's funny, too, is at least you don't have to be around a crowd like me and somebody just yells, hey, Dave. And I turn around. Nobody's yelling dump truck. Only one guy's turning around.
It's not always a good thing.
No, I was going to say. Or if it's dick or asshole, then me and you probably be like.
Those are synonyms, really.
Right. They all go with it. Their middle names. Yeah,
they are.
Pet names. It doesn't matter.
I got lots of aliases whenever I do my taxes.
Right. Okay, so where can people find some more of your stuff? You seem like, okay, so you must love the live show stuff right now is awesome. right?
Thank you. I stopped doing the live show, but I've had a podcast in the plans for a while, and like all the things and stuff actually gave me a lot of time to be able to like finish the development of it. I've been wanting to do
Right.
more long-term projects like that, and so I snuffed it for a few weeks, but going back and picking up again starting this week, and it's going to be a regular thing. Some of the shows will be live, some of them will be recorded, and then as it evolves, it'll probably end up being scheduled and something a little bit more regular. But for now, what I'm doing with my YouTube channel, which I started a brand new YouTube channel, and I'm putting basically like 4 different types of content on it. So you'll be able to find the podcast that'll be video, very much like what we're doing here, but like I was doing before with like 10 minutes per person for 60 minutes, I'm actually going to be doing a round table so that we have more conversation and can get into it a little bit more. I really love the quick hit show, but it just 10 minutes just isn't long enough. And so like I'm going to shrink the odds, shrink the number of guests that I have and extend the amount of time that they're on. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I actually have a Democratic member of the House of Representatives that'll be on. I have a friend of mine who is a therapist in Minneapolis who will be on, and he lived 3 doors down from the Walgreens that they set on fire that was on the news. Had to evacuate his whole family and all that kind of stuff, so he's got some perspective to share. And he's from LA and was in LA during the riots in '92. And I have my friend Freedom, who's a badass, powerful Black woman writer. One badass woman. She's in LA, and she's been around there for a good while, and then I'll potentially have one of 2 police officer friends of mine that are lady police officers, one in KC, one in New York, trying to fill that last spot. But I didn't time it to be the first show, like when all of the riots and everything are happening. So it just is. But what the show is always supposed to be is involve your local perspective to what is currently going on in the world, no matter what it is. When all this stuff blows over and moves on to something else and grows, hopefully into improvement. But as the dialogue changes, so will the show's focus. And so it'll always kind of stay current, and it'll be people that are from all walks of my life, whether it be roller derby or music or motorcycles, or there's so many things that I've been blessed to be a part of. I've got a really vibrant collection of friends that are really, really smart, and they add a lot of different things to bring them to the table. So I'm doing that, and then I'm also starting a show called Ride Certified, where I am doing gear testing and product testing. So it'll be things like motorcycle gear. One of the things I'm testing is the Simpson Mod Bandit helmet, a modular helmet with a Sena Bluetooth system they just came out with, and working on that and videoing it on a road trip and doing all these different things. So you can see that it's ridden miles, because I'll show you the miles that I've ridden. I'll talk about the trip while I'm on it. And then afterwards, we'll talk about the gear and how it performed. And then, doing like a lot of different things. Like I've got a lot of partnerships that have been built through it, and it should be really fun. Actually, Dixon is one of them. So there's going to be like even just like regular, like casual gear. Let me tell you why you always see me in this stuff, because I actually get behind it. It's amazing. It's so comfortable, and it's like made for people that are, normal to broad shoulder. Like, it fits my body well. It's not like really shrinking. Like, just kind of go into the details. And it could be camping gear. It could be motorcycle parts, as I'm, building my Road King, and it evolves. I'll talk about the experience that I have with part installs, and like, JRI shocks are going on the motorcycle. This is what it changed for me, and really giving an honest aspect or honest perspective on the different tech pieces, motorcycle pieces, safety pieces, things from my lifestyle, and how effective or ineffective they are. And just trying to have some fun with it and make it entertaining at the same time. Then I've got a cooking show I'm going to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Anybody not listening, or not watching, I just slapped my head going, I wanted to say, for fucking real? All right, I want to know about the cooking. What are we cooking up? Do you have a certain...
Yeah, it'll be
what's your style?
Some different things. I actually know some really talented chefs and like pit masters and things of that nature. So every once in a while, I'll find a recipe that I really dig, and I'll either make it and hang out and talk with someone or myself or an audience, or I'll just, I don't know,
Right.
I just want another reason to hang out with my friends, and so I can get some insight from people.
I think that you need to combine a couple of these. Like, okay, you got motorcycle gear, right? You do it, you test it out, you go on these trips. I think like a cooking show where you bring all your friends together and then you make it for them and have them sit around and like a test drive and everything of your cooking.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely part of the point is, I mean, like even the pots and pans and tools that I'll use, if I'm able to start to get the food and beverage side of what I do with my brand, like, I've been emceed for Jack Daniels for years. And so it's like, let me make this a part of my life in a different way. By just interacting with it and like introducing, simple and beautiful and delicious cocktails and simple and beautiful and delicious meals. And some of it'll be normal, some of it'll be adventurous, but I mean, it'll all be a good time. And there'll be like, assets that you can download later with like the recipes and all of that kind of stuff. And so it'll kind of leave. Sometimes it'll be road trip food. I mean, just depends on what's happening in my life. And I just want to share some of those things like intentionally share them. So there's some production value to it and some planning to it. And it's actually entertaining. And, hopefully you walk away knowing how to cook better, knowing how to make a wiser purchase or something of that nature. Just walk away better, maybe smile a little bit for no damn reason because I'm an idiot and I like to have a good time, and that rubbed off.
Right. I think that you should get some plans together of stuff to do because it sounds like you're going to be really, really bored over there over the next life.
Yeah, if only I was motivated or driven or had a maybe someday. Yeah, and on top of like all of that, luckily I work with a friend of mine, Jimmy Heritage, and he is basically my producer for a lot of these things. So a lot of the ideas come out of my head and they get refined in his head, and he helps me with the execution as well. So it really keeps me on track, and I'm starting to learn how to balance royalty racing, which is daily, Monday through Friday work, and then also my brand ambassadorships and the other programming that I'm about to come out with podcasts and gear reviews and cooking and cinematic videos and like all sorts of stuff.
Very cool. All right, so people listening that don't know how to find your YouTube page right now, so that you just said you got your new one up and running?
Yeah, I do. Like my brand is I Speak Good. So if you go on YouTube and search I Speak Good, you'll be able to find it. My website is ispeakgood.com. There ain't nothing on it right now because I'm rebuilding it for a release in the next few days. So if you're listening to this late, hey, there's a website there. If you're listening to this tomorrow, hey, there's not a website there. But great. Yeah, so you can. And my Instagram is a really good center. I use my social media to kind of make you aware of what's going on the YouTube side of things. So if you ever want to know if something's popping off, my Instagram is Dumptruck_. You can just type in Dumptruck from the first idiot with a bunch of hair on his face that shows up.
Yeah, I saw that guy.
Right now he's a little devil. He's a little hot stuff, like a little hot stuff because I have a hot sauce coming out here soon.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be on my label. It's like
dude,
hot stuff in a diaper.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap up here in a minute. But what I want to do is I want to touch base with you. Like we're like June 1st, June 2nd, 2020 right now.
Yeah.
I want to revisit this in a year, and I want to play this back before we talk. It'd be so fucking cool to look back and go, yeah, I was mentioning this, and then see how many things you've accomplished or which way you took an idea and spun off to another way.
Now you can, and maybe I'm just full of shit. We'll find that out too.
Right, and maybe you'll just be doing roller derby, or maybe you'll be a roller derby guy.
Hey, well, maybe I'll be a roller derby girl. I mean, it's only one whole year. There's a lot of things that can happen.
It's America, baby. You can do whatever you want. All right. Did you? Okay. Here's a fun question. You have to answer this completely honestly. Have you listened to any of our shows yet?
No.
Awesome. You're the second guy in 2 weeks. I love the brutal honesty too. Okay, which is better for me right now. You didn't even listen to Patrick's, but you get to fucking hang out with him every day.
All the time.
Yeah, who needs to listen to him? This is good though. That was really good. All right, so at the end of my episodes, what I like to do is have you nominate 3 different people for me, because this is a motorcycling podcast. Off the wall. I don't care what they are. They don't have to be builders, riders, whatever. You hit me. I'm grabbing a pen here, but nah, fuck it. I'm not grabbing a pen here. I just want to hear what you have to say.
Stacy Wilt. She and I are very, 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 very close friends. She's badass person. She's also extremely driven, has a lot of her own content coming out. She's a very good writer, very good photographer. And then she has a show called Ride to Food that's coming out. And we've been super tight friends since like 2012, 2013.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, and she rides her ass off. It's really hard to keep up.
Nice. How do we find her on Instagram?
Stacy, I think it's Stacy. Well, it might be Stacy. Let me see.
I used to take the stuff off the air, and then I looked and I'm like, wait, everybody listening right now is probably going to want to search and find Stacy too.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, Stacy Wilt. STACIWILT.
Awesome. All right, that's your number one. Stacy, we're coming after you. Give me another one here, brother.
Let me see.
Somebody, yeah.
My buddy D-Rock, Dinah Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, Dinah G. Let me make sure it's.
I'm looking like DINO, Dino Jesus.
DYNA.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Dinah_Jesus 127.
Okay,
He's
when you
in
have
Canada and has a great accent.
Okay, can I ask a question? So when you have a name like Dinah_Jesus, do you need the 127? Or is there a lot of other Dinah Jesuses out there?
There's at least 126 other ones, I guess. I don't know.
Either that or his birthday's January 27th. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm throwing him a follow right now. All right, so we got. Oh yeah, we want one more.
Let's see.
And right now, if Dumptruck doesn't choose you, it's because he hates you, not because I put him on the spot.
Like, so
Yeah.
much hate! I don't know. How about my best friend Magoo, the great Magoo on Instagram?
All right, the great Magoo.
Mm-hmm. And he has a recent crash story for you.
Ooh.
He didn't actually crash. He kept the bike up, but
Okay.
he lives in Long Beach, and he basically just got sidelined and dude drove off, but he was able to keep the bike up. So it was like minimal stuff. He's got a swollen ankle and all sorts of things. That dude's my heart and soul. Love that man. Hard working dude. Loves to ride. Dude will put some miles down, and he's an absolute wild man when it's time to party.
Really? Love it. I love it. We're looking at the great.
Down together.
Okay.
Put on camera so I can talk about it.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we'll leave that one alone. I like his Instagram. It says, "I know people. I go places. I do things."
Yeah.
And at the end, it should just say, "Fuck yeah." That's it. But when you say that, you don't even need to say that. I don't think it's just fine.
If the fuck yeah's implied.
Right. I just like to put not everybody is so sharp, and common sense isn't that common anymore. So
Facts.
sometimes you need to add the fuck yeah. I mean, that's just me. I'm from Illinois, so sometimes maybe I just around people.
You're a fib.
Yep. Wow. How do you know that? How do you know that?
I've been places. I know stuff.
You've been to Wisconsin, is what you've been to.
Lots. Yeah, lots.
I haven't been called a fib since the last time I was at a Packers game, I don't think.
That seems about right.
That's right. Or at Mama Tried with, but no, everybody's nice in Mama Tried, so.
Yeah, everybody, once they're, that's the thing about Mama Tried. That's the best show of the year. That's my favorite show.
Love that show, man. Fucking great guys up there.
So good.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, go follow Dumptruck_, and we're going to follow YouTube at I Speak Good.
Yeah, I do. I speak real good, man.
That's one of my favorite lines, and I'm so happy to hear that. Well, I saw a hashtag on one of your pictures as I Speak Good, and I'm like, I like this guy already. I don't know. There's something about him.
This guy's an idiot. I like it.
This guy's an idiot. Yeah, but hey, good luck to everything in the future, brother. I think with your drive, your passion, and how optimistic you are, man, nothing's going to get in your fucking way.
If it does, I won't notice anyways. I appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. I appreciate you having me on, and now I'll be a listener for sure. I like to go in blind, so it just is whatever it is.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. However,
everybody else didn't do nearly as good as I did.
Right. You just want to make it to the end. You didn't want to. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or you're just not interested. It's fine either way. Either way, I'm fine with it. Life goes on. All right.
It will.
Yeah, it will. No matter what. So, hey, brother, sincerely thank you. You and Patrick go drink some whatever you're drinking together.
That sounds good to me. He's got vodka. He always has vodka.
Oh, you got Gatorade too? So
I did. But thank you.
All right, buddy. You take care. I'll see you soon, my man.
Have a great one.
You too.